Player Spotlight episode 10. Welcome back, everyone. Nice to see so many cool people in the chat. We're gonna jump right into it with our guest, Eekim.
That's me.
Wow, what a guest! What a guest!
Long awaited.
Actually, the most longest awaited guest. I think ever since I started the show, you have been assumed to be the next guest every week.
Yeah, especially by Sharp.
Yes. And I have made an active decision to not have you as a guest because people wanted you to be on. So I was like, no, actually, you'll be much later because it'll keep viewer retention up. People will keep wanting to come back to see if it's Eekim or not.
Yeah, after this episode, there will be no more viewers.
Yeah, it's over now. This will be the last episode. I know that I will get no more viewers, so I won't do any more. That's a joke, by the way. I will probably keep going.
Yeah. There's so many players in Stockholm that you could probably interview. Like, have you done Telman, for example?
No.
So that's a good one if he wants to.
Yeah, I have spoken to some that have also asked me to be on.
Yeah.
That I'm going to prioritize. By the way, if you want to be on this show, you can actually just ask me. I will hear you out and say sure, probably. I'm mostly sticking to players who have been on the PR or been in the scene for a longer time, though. Just as a preface, so maybe, sadly, one of you newer players, you'll get your time in the sun in a couple of years or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone said the audio levels is fine and everything, so let's just get into fucking the questions. Thanks, Peach, for sponsoring this episode.
Thank you, Goose.
Thank you,
Very
Goose.
nice.
Is this
No, it shouldn't be that guy, because I know you're thinking of, right? Or maybe we're not thinking about the same person.
No, I have no idea what you're thinking about.
Okay, but there's a Peach player from Stockholm that played, the guy that did the Krum remix.
Oh, right.
His nickname was Goose.
Goose?
Yeah, and he played Peach.
But he was from Stockholm, though, and this ping is 36,
Yeah.
so it's probably not that. Alright, I'm going to start with the question I ask every single person.
Yeah.
What games have you been playing before you started playing Smash competitively? Were there any?
Yeah, so like I started like competing more seriously, I guess, when I started playing League of Legends, and this was in 2011, so in season 1 of the league. But before that, I played lots of StarCraft, but I was never like super serious about it. But yeah, so League was like my first. Like I played ranked, like every day, and tried to like actually get good at the game and improve, somewhat at least. When I started playing Smash, I became much more like improvement oriented and like trying to learn how to actually improve and everything. But yeah, in like season 3 of League was when I played like just shit ton of ranks and just like that's basically the first one. But I've always been competitive, I think, like when I was a kid and everything. But yeah, League was the first, and then I basically just like completely dropped League when I started playing Smash in 2014.
Why'd you start playing League competitively or want to get good at that?
I'm not sure why I started playing League. It was just like a friend that like recommended it to me, and then it was just like the first game that I actually played a lot. Because I played StarCraft, but I didn't play it like super much. But then I think just because I played it so much, I naturally just became more interested in like playing it, like becoming good at it.
Mm-hmm. So it was just a game you ended up playing a bunch with your friends or whatever, and then you wanted to get good because you played it a bunch?
Yeah, I think so. And because it was fun to like be good at the game and have like people, because like there was a lot of people in school that played League.
Yeah.
So it was fun to just be like, have them come up to me and be like, oh hey, can you like boost me and like stuff like that. Just
yeah.
have people be like, oh yeah, you're good at the game
Yeah.
or something.
There was definitely some weird clout you got from being good at League of Legends because it was a normie game also.
Yeah.
So like a lot of normies knew it. I remember in class, actually, really fun fact, Gillian went to my school, a Stockholm player I will probably have on one day, if they want to be on. Gillian asked me to play League with him because I was high rank in League.
Hell yeah.
I never did.
I had no idea about this actually. I never heard that you went to the same school.
It's true, but he quit after a while, so we didn't really, and we went to different different programs, so we didn't know each other that much.
Yeah.
But so you quit League in season 3. What was your
Season 4.
Season 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
In season 3, I started becoming better. That was when I peaked at Diamond 3, and then season 4, I peaked in Diamond 1. But I was only there for like a day, and then I came back to Diamond 2.
You were there for a day, and then you dropped out immediately.
Yeah.
How come you found Smash then, if you were so into League?
Well, first I found it. I basically found it through the documentary, like most people. But the way I found out about the documentary was because of Sky Williams, the League of Legends YouTuber.
Yeah, it's now cancelled.
Yeah, but yeah, I found out about like competitive Smash through him, and then that just made me interested and be like, well, I mean, I played Smash when I was a kid, like everyone else, and then I found the documentary, and then I basically just like watched a lot of videos after that, like Ken, like tutorials by Ken and just like stuff about the game generally.
Which year was this?
This was in 2014, like summer of 2014.
Okay.
And then I think I made I don't remember, but I have a Smash ladder accounts that was made, like maybe August of 2014.
Okay.
So that's when I didn't play the game yet because I didn't even have a controller or a GameCube or anything. I played like on keyboard for like maybe a month.
You were the first box player.
Hell yeah, I did. And then in like late November of 2014, I went to my first local.
So not that far behind starting, just completely.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of a coincidence because I don't think I would have started so soon. Because I was looking at after looking at lots of videos about the game online and stuff, I was interested in if there was anything in Stockholm or just Sweden in general. And then I found VODs of Fao. He had a tournament like very recently. It was like maybe like just a few months earlier or something. And so I went to a school called Media Gymnasiet, and that's the same school that Flippy goes to or went to.
A previous guest on the podcast.
Yeah. And so I knew about him because I'd seen him. I remember because I thought he was really cool because he had color hair, just like me. I was like, wow, this guy, he's like in the 3rd year and he's so cool and
he's probably into hair. Sasuke.
Yeah, exactly. So then I knew who Flippy was like outside of Smash before, and then. Because then I was looking at the foul odds of the tournament, and the first video I looked at it was Flippy versus someone. I don't remember who it was. So immediately I was like, oh shit, I know that guy, or like I've seen him at school,
Yeah.
So I immediately just like added him on Facebook. Like I linked the video to him. It's like, is this you? And then he was like, yeah. And he basically just told me to come to SU on the Tuesday. So I think if Flippy wasn't like at my school, it might have taken much longer time for me to actually start playing and coming to weeklies.
It's really nice to have someone that like actively invites you also, because then you're like, I at least know someone I can talk to my first weekly,
Yeah, exactly. But I was still a bit intimidated by Flippy because I never talked to him. He was really cool. So I was like, oh my god, I get to talk to Flippy.
He was also a year older than you?
2 years older than me, yeah.
3? 2?
2, yeah.
Two, yeah.
So I was in the first what's it called? Not class, the first year of
Yeah.
high school.
Gymnasium or whatever it's called in English. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's not college and it's not high school. Maybe it's high school.
I think it's high school in the US, and then it's like
Right.
gymnasium. I think it's called gymnasium in like somewhere. Probably, maybe.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Um,
Most people are Swedes anyways and know what the fuck we're talking about.
But yeah, so he was 2 years older than me. So he was, the last year. So he even more like prestige.
Mhm.
But yeah.
So you went to your first local, and that was in November 2014. You said.
Yeah, I think it was like the 25th of November, like very late November. And it was upstairs. We played teams, I think.
Oh, it was one of the upstairs ones.
Yeah, it was. And I remember because there was random teams. And before the tournament, I'd seen Potts. I'd seen him play, and he could do double fair. And I was like, wow, this guy is like a genius. He's like better than Ken. And then we ended up doing like the random teams, and then I ended up on the same team as Potts. So I immediately I got to be on the same team as my idol.
Wow.
That was insane. But yeah, that was pretty fun. I mean, I went back, so obviously I liked it. And that's when I first met, like pretty much not everyone, but like Flippy, and then Max or Acid.
Yeah.
I met him for the first time, and he was one of the people that just like immediately like came up to me like, oh hey, you're new here, like what's your name and everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize that he wanted to ask, like he asked for my name, but like he wanted to know my tag. But when he asked for like what my name was, I was like, yeah, it's Adam.
Yeah.
Because that was my
Actual
name.
real name.
Yeah. Then, yeah. And he was like, no, what's your tag? And I was like, oh no.
Oh no! Did you have a tag at that point?
Yeah, I did. But I actually switched tag like not too long before that to Eekim, which has been my tag now for the longest time. But before that I had lots of tags on League. I switched like maybe every year, maybe something like that. But yeah. What was the question? I forget what we were talking about.
We were talking about your first local, and for those of you who might not know, the local in question is the SU local, or the Stockholm University one that Isa started, which was a guest on the previous one. So if you were curious about that, you can check out the episode 9. Anyway, and specifically the upstairs venue is a much smaller part of the venue that we have. Which we nowadays don't get reserved to because we are too big. So, but before, back in the days when the board game section, because there's a board game section that's also happening at the upstairs area, when they got larger or when events were happening and taking place in the downstairs venue, because it's at the university campus, maybe it could use for something else. We were upstairs in the venue instead, which was at a much, much smaller area. We were basically confined into a room which wasn't more than like, I don't know.
It was really small.
Yeah, maybe 30 square meters or something. So on those ones, it was much more cozy, and you got to know the people way more.
Yeah, because you had to sit like right next to them, like
each other,
shoulder to shoulder, basically.
Yeah. It was a blessing and a curse. For new players, I actually think it's super good.
Yeah.
Because there are only going to be like, there's only going to be maybe 12 people in the venue, so you get to actually talk to everyone and get to know someone.
And it was almost always doubles. And if you didn't have a teammate, you would just kind of got assigned one randomly.
This is true, yeah.
So, I mean, that probably helped me, like, because I never talked to Potts. I probably wouldn't have talked to Potts if I didn't get teamed up with him, for example.
Do you remember your first matches in the tournament?
No, not that one, actually. I think we probably just lost very quickly because,
Even if Potts could double fair?
Yeah.
He was better than Ken.
Yeah, he was better than Ken, but, I mean, like, EVP probably was there or something, I don't know. But yeah, so... But I don't remember that one, or that tournament. But I remember my first singles tournament, which was downstairs. Well, I remember one match, I think. And that was against Alan Kicks. But the thing is, like, he was also really new. I think that was like maybe his second tournament. And then, like right before the tournament, I was like, oh, hey, this is my first like tournament. Like, I've never played a tournament before, and I don't know how to strike and everything.
Yeah.
So then he taught me how to do that, and then we were talking about a bit before, and he was like, oh yeah, do you know how to wave dash? And like, oh, this is how you wave dash. And he's like, you know, teaching me about the game and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I beat him.
No, Alan Kicks!
Yeah, he was like teaching me the game and everything, and then I beat him because I thought he was gonna be like really good since he was like really nice about it and like teaching me how to do stuff and everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was also really new, so he didn't like obviously he knew how to wave dash, but maybe not how to use it and everything.
And it was Peach Marth.
Yeah, it was Peach Marth, yeah, because I've always played Marth.
Well, we'll get to that later.
Yeah. But I started as Marth.
Yeah.
Well, before I came to any tournaments, I wanted to play Roy, but I realized he was very bad, so I didn't play Roy for very long.
You chose Marth because you wanted to play Roy, but how come you even wanted to play any of those characters in the first place?
Well, I don't know. I think I just really like the sword characters. Swords are just cool somehow. And because like when I was a kid, I played Link, and I played Link and Marth. I didn't play Roy, but when I was a kid, I always wanted to play. I always wanted to play Roy. The thing is, there was another kid in our neighborhood that played Roy, so I felt like I couldn't play it because that was like his character. So I had to pick Marth instead.
Was that kid cool and had colored hair like Flippy?
No, but no. He was still cool.
Okay.
But yeah, so, like I don't know. I don't think there was any like specific, or actually maybe. Actually, I remember when I was watching like Ken videos. I remember seeing like I don't know if it was a combo video, but I saw a video of Ken, and he did nair into nair into nair, and I thought that was like the coolest combo. Because I've always loved Marth's nair. I think it's just a cool move. So that was probably a part of it as well.
It is a cool move.
It is. It's a really good move as well.
Yeah. Auto cancels. It's busted. So, how did it feel winning your first match against Alan Kicks?
Like I just remember that it happened, but I don't really remember anything, like how I felt or like what happened, because I was probably just like confused since I was new. But I mean, I was probably happy that I won.
Do you know who you played afterward?
Maybe, 'cause I don't know if this was the same tournament, but I remember very early on playing against Nike, which is did Nike play when you played?
No, I saw him once. He came once, and you were like, "Oh, this is Nike," and I was like, "I don't know," and you were like, "He was a big guy when I started."
Yeah, he was the best Marth, because I didn't see him before, because I thought Poss was the best. But that was Nike. Nike was the best Marth in Stockholm.
Before Masterkai started coming?
I think so, because I think Masterkai wasn't there, or maybe it was in the beginning. I don't remember. But
I wasn't there. So.
If Masterkai was there, then yeah, Masterkai was the best. But I didn't see Masterkai. I only saw Nike, I think.
Yeah.
So, and I think I played, but I'm not sure if it was the same tournament. But I played him in some tournament, and he really fucked me up.
Yeah.
Which was really fun, because he did a Ken combo on me in PAL, which shouldn't work, but it was, I thought it was so cool.
Yeah. You could have just meteored, but you let him have it.
Yeah. Well, I probably didn't even know how to meteor, so.
Yeah. There's old lore of you playing as Rose Trail. I remember that's one of the first sets you've showed me.
Yeah, there is. I think it was that was the summer of 2015. So I played for just over 6 months, I think.
Yeah.
In that set. Or maybe it was more. I don't remember, but something like that. Which I mean, it was pretty nice winning my first set ever on stream.
Yeah. How did you? How was the landscape back when you started? Like, how many players were there? Who were the players to watch out for you or?
Well, I think I'm not sure exactly how many people. I think it was because there was like every week they felt like there was more and more people coming. I think when I started, maybe there was like 30 people, but then like after just like a few months, that's when we had like 60, 70 people there. But like the players that were really good at that time was, I mean, Jadde, but I don't think Jadde really came over as usual.
Yeah.
Eekim was probably the best, I think. Eekim, and then Humpe was there as well. And Dev, which was there as well. I'm not sure how much he was there. But those are the players.
Of course, Leffen, if he actually came.
Yeah, and he did actually come a few times in the beginning. It was like after 2016 that he really didn't show up ever again. But he did come a few times. Which I think is because, oh yeah, Nisro was there as well. But yeah, because Leffen knows like all the old school players that came before, but now that they've all quit
Yeah.
or stopped playing, I don't think Leffen wants to come really.
Yeah. I think another sleeper is randomness, of course.
Oh yeah.
But he never showed as well.
Yeah.
And still doesn't. So
Yeah.
please come to our locals.
Yes.
Anyway. Which players were you seeing as your rivals, or the players that you were playing against that were hard?
It was always well, Nike for one, because Nike was the best Marth in Stockholm. I'm not sure how long he actually played, but I don't think he actually did play for that long either. But Nike was, one of them, and I actually did beat him. I think in like it's called winter of 2015, I think. So when I played for like a year, I think I beat him, which was like my first upset, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, him, and then I always wanted to beat Potts. And then Dady, I think Dady was always like one step ahead of me, kind of. But that's when he was playing Luigi.
Yeah.
And it was, I think when he switched to Samus, it became even harder. Because I was kind of bad versus Samus. I became very good versus Samus eventually, but in the beginning I was very bad versus Samus. Because I remember, because when he played Luigi, I felt like I was starting to figure it out, kind of.
Yeah.
But then he switched, and then I was lost again. But there are probably more players, but I don't really remember being like, oh, I really want to beat this person, or I really want to, like take a game versus this guy or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as far as I know, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you and Dady and Fao were some of the first faster rising newer players that came up.
Yeah.
And so when you were coming up, you didn't have much like many more people that were better than you, that weren't also new, or that were just way better than you because they'd been playing since 2004.
Yeah.
Like Humpe or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was like either you had such a huge skill gap, or you were coming up with the Dady, with the Fao, with the who else was there, Potts, kind of.
Yeah. And who else? Those were the big ones, I guess. Both of them started playing a few months at least before me. Especially Fao. I think Fao started like half a year before me, so
Yeah.
he also always had the upper hand against me. I think versus Dady, I could sometimes feel a bit competitive at least, but with Fao, I felt like I always just lost, kind of.
Yeah. If you talk about you being eventually becoming good versus Samus, I don't think you ever got very good against Ice Climbers. Maybe at the very, very end. But
Yeah. No, I was always really good. Bad versus Ices. There was towards the end where I kind of just like, I was like, fuck it, okay, I'm super bad versus this character, so let me like analyze one game. of ICs versus some Marth that's good versus ICs, which was Shroomed at the time because he had a Marth. Yeah, he had a Marth basically only for ICs because he played Sheik.
Yeah.
So I didn't even look at one game. I looked at like 30 seconds of that, and he did like lots of full hop fairs, and I did that, and then I became decent at the matchup. And I did manage to take at least a few sets of foul.
Yeah.
During that time. But yeah, before that I kind of
way after the start, of course.
Yeah, this was like in 2017.
Yeah. In the beginning, though, do you remember your first PR spot?
Yeah. So I actually looked at it before coming here, and I was PR the first time in 2015. So I think it was a little under a year of playing, and I got PR'd in like 16th, I think. I got 16th place.
Yeah.
That was my first PR. I don't remember who was above me or below me, but yeah.
I think Dady was above you.
Yeah, Dady was for sure above me, because I think that was when he was really starting to become good at the game, kind of.
Yeah.
So I think he was quite a lot higher than me.
Wasn't there like Ashtray was there?
Yeah, Ashley was there.
Also a player we forgot to mention who was really good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
Celius, was he there?
Yeah, Silas was there, of course. Silas was there quite often, actually.
Yeah.
Which was also a really good, like, Stockholm Fox. That was like the only Fox. Like after EVP stopped playing, that was like the only Fox we had left, kind of, before Pipsqueak started playing. But yeah.
Tryharding. I guess
Yeah.
in the top.
Yeah.
Like, oh well, was he in the top?
Because
I guess.
Eddie also started. I think he started after me.
Mm.
Like in, I actually don't know when he started. And obviously, yeah, Eddie became good later, but not during that time.
Yeah.
Like Celius.
Yeah, makes sense. And you also had legendary Tengil Fox.
Yeah, classic.
Andrew Fox.
Yeah. Yeah, those were. I'm not sure if I think it took me a really long time to beat both of them, because they had like really weird playstyles, and I was also like not very good versus Fox for a long time. But yeah, of course they were there as well, the full up Foxes.
Yeah.
Because that was the meme that neither of them knew how to short up. They just
It's
did
too
full
hard.
up. Yeah, it's too hard to short to short up.
Yeah. Do you remember what you felt like when you first got ranked? Was it exciting for you? Did you not mind too much, or?
No, I think I kind of just didn't really care. 'Cause I think it was kind of unexpected, but I was like, I don't know. It was never really a goal of mine. I thought it was kind of cool. But it was something like, yeah, it wasn't too special, I think. I think it would have been if I actually like started working towards it, but I think it kind of just like happened quite early. So it's like, oh, I guess I'm power ranked. It wasn't something I was working towards or something that I really, yeah.
You mentioned goals, and when you were talking about League before, you said that you didn't really actively try to improve as much as when you started with Smash.
Yeah.
How did that? What was that difference like? What does it mean to actively try to improve, and what changes did you make?
Well, like the biggest thing was like in League, I would like mostly just play, and I wouldn't think about the game too much, but I wouldn't think about like any strategy or like anything really. I would just play the game and then become better automatically, kind of. But in Smash, it became more like actually just like sitting alone and just like practicing, like ledge dashing or something that I needed to practice and work on that I was bad at, and like thinking about the game and being like, oh, like thinking about combos or like stuff I could do differently, which I still didn't do as much as I would do maybe today, but it was still much more like focused kind of in how I wanted to practice. But I still also just like played a shitload, which is how I got good mostly. But I also thought about the game, a lot about like punish game and stuff like that, like how to edge guard and
I feel like when you came up, and still to this day, the way that you practiced showed in the way that you played, and that you were and still are a very punish-oriented player.
Yeah.
To the point where you probably have had the best combo game or some of the best combo game in Stockholm for a long time.
Yeah.
And not even just on one character, but like if you decided you wanted to switch character to another one, your combo game is the most fleshed out by far.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's one of my strengths in Melee, that I was always just like good at understanding punish game and combo game with like all characters. I think like apart from Armada, I played Peach for like a few months, and I think I had the best punish game with Peach, like, or at least combo game with Peach, like kind of by far. Even though I just played her for a few months, I was still not the best. Sharp was always better than my Peach. But yeah, that was like
a strictly punish game. You felt like you had an edge.
Yeah.
What was goal setting like for you when you did start? Because you mentioned that in League you didn't have much, and you started putting conscious effort into Smash.
Yeah.
So what could goals be like for you if it wasn't like getting ranked or whatever?
I think the biggest goal I always had was just getting better. I never really had any concrete goals, like, oh, I want to beat this person within the year, or like, I want to become top 20 in Sweden or Stockholm, whatever. I never really...
Anything relating to other players?
Yeah, it was mostly just, I wanted to become better, and yeah, that was like, yeah, the only, kind of like the only motivator, that I just wanted to become better. Which, I mean, is kind of like having a goal of being like the best, because if I always want to be better, then I will eventually be the best if I always keep improving. But I never had any like concrete goals, which might have hurt me, but also I think it might have helped me, because if you don't reach those goals, then that might feel really shit. But I didn't really have any goals to like not meet, I guess.
I think that in a way, and now we're gonna go into the mentality like whole, which is super cool if people like that. But when you have goals that are just improving past the point where you are right now, traditionally in Smash, I feel like that is uncommon, but it's one of the healthier mindsets for growth, because in theory, if you do it properly, your results in tournaments should not affect your will to keep playing.
Yeah.
And like, for example, if you come to the top, if you would have come to the top of Stockholm's PR and you were number 1, that should not affect you as much and your will to play as someone who has had a very like player and comparative goals, I guess, where you're like, oh, I want to be able to beat first 7 bananas, and then I want Ludde, and then you just keep climbing the ladder.
Yeah.
But there will always be a point where you reach the top of your relatively close sphere, power ranking or whatever, and then you can't improve anymore, and suddenly making goals is really hard, and finding motivation becomes really hard. Yeah. Whereas if you get motivated by just playing the game in and of itself and improving yourself, then you should get more of a consistent like.
Yeah, exactly. But it also, I think, because I never really, like, obviously I got happy when I won, but I also never felt like super happy if I won versus someone that's like very good, kind of. But maybe that's not even the what's it called, like the same thing. Maybe that's like something different. That I was just not very good at being happy about winning, I guess. Because I think for me the biggest thing was like if I lost to someone and I felt like I shouldn't lose to them because I've improved past the point of losing to this person, then I would get really pissed at myself.
Yeah. And that's where, if we're talking about your mentality specifically, I think the cracks start to show. Because in reality, like, you should not be feeling overwhelmingly positive with a process-oriented mindset where you're just trying to improve yourself when you beat a player. Because you should feel your enjoyment of the game should come from when you executed properly on something you have practiced. For instance, like you see, oh, this combo I've been practicing for a long time, I actually finally hit it. That should be a bigger rush to you than I beat this player today. Because it shows that your practice is paying off and you're better than yesterday. However, the problem starts showing when you lose to someone that you view worse than you, and then you get angry.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that means that you haven't perfected the mindset in a way.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think just got worse with the fact that I kind of felt like shits a lot of the time. And because I think the days where I felt better, like if I would lose, I would feel, it still felt fine, but usually I would feel kind of trash, which just made the whole thing worse, I think.
How do you mean when you say that you felt kind of trash or felt bad?
Well, just kind of tired is the best way of describing it. And it would be like, I would kind of be irritated at everything already, I think. Even if like it didn't play, I would be irritated, you know, like, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but I think the best way to describe it is like that I was tired. And
So this is something that real life stuff rather than like actual
it's
something
not,
relating to Smash.
It's not connected to Smash. And but some days it was fine, but some other days was much worse. And I think those days, I think I should have just not played Smash because I think it became worse. But so some days it was pretty bad.
To me, and this is if I'm allowed to say a theory I have.
You can say a theory.
As a person who, I feel like I know you a bit at least. The days where you feel tired and feel like shit, you probably forced yourself, either consciously or unconsciously, or subconsciously, whatever you say, to play, even if you didn't really feel like you had anything to improve or wanted to do. Because you knew that this is something that I want to do or should do to feel better. Like going to the tournament is a nice thing for me. I should go. But when you don't want to play anymore, then suddenly your enjoyment, like your fuel, is completely gone. Because you don't care if you do properly or whatever, like properly execute on what you practiced. And you don't care if you win because you're feeling bad and you really, in reality, maybe shouldn't even be playing the game. But when you play poorly, you get affected because you feel like, oh, I don't even want to play this game anymore. And suddenly I perform really shit because I can't execute anything of what I'm doing. And I lost to someone, and this is going to affect the view of me from people.
Maybe. I think, a big thing was just like, I just went to every tournament for like, because after my first tournament, I went to every SU for like 3 years straight. I didn't miss a single one, so it just became like a habit to just like go there and then play tournament. It was just like nothing. I didn't think about like, should I not play tournament? I just did it because that's what I've been doing the past 3 years. But that's probably true. What you said.
Smash also was a, from your point of view, like Smash was one of the bigger things that was happening in your life, from my understanding.
It was probably, I mean, it was the biggest thing, for sure. I spent the most time in it and pretty much played every single day that I could.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure, it was the biggest thing in my life for quite a long time, and probably still even is, but not as much because I have other stuff as well.
Yeah.
Now, but yeah, I mostly had Smash during that time because I had school, but I didn't care about school, so it was like still just basically only Smash only.
You basically put all of your conscious effort and will into Smash,
Yeah,
whereas the rest was just kind of going through the motions.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Maybe we'll return to talking about mentality later and deep topics, because I feel like that was a deep dive.
Yeah,
But I want to keep it on track to helping people get to know you also through what you have done and your accomplishments and your gameplay and stuff.
yeah.
So, can you remember the first win that you got actually happy with? Or the first, if not the first win, then maybe a key moment to you where you felt like you fell in love with the game?
I think one of the things was after 2 years of playing in 2016, I still didn't have any goals of like trying to make it like onto the PR or anything, but that's when I got ranked. I got ranked 5th in Stockholm, which I think that was one of the moments where it felt kind of insane. Like, oh, I'm like top 5. I'm like I've actually come somewhere.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably not the first moment, but it was definitely one of them where I felt happy about like just getting top 5, even though it was partially due to like a lot of people quitting.
Yeah.
But still, it was pretty good.
That is the way that it happens, though. Like, a lot of newer players, I feel like don't get that as much, but fucking when you get higher up in the ranks, usually it's because people quit.
Yeah.
You don't, unless you're like maybe Pipsqueak or Daddy or you maybe, that like, or Red Blaze previously May now, or Sharp maybe. Don't pass that many people. You just sort of have your level that you're around, and then people above you quit, and then you just the floor just raises.
Yeah, exactly.
So getting top 5 was a big achievement for you. You felt like that actually changed something for you?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it changed anything, but it did make me maybe like affirm that it was like it's still fun playing the game, and I like improving at it. But then, I mean, there are some smaller wins, like the Nike one, because I thought it was like a really cool Marth, and I was like, oh shit, he's like really good, and then I beat him, and that that felt really well. That felt really good.
Yeah.
And then there are probably more moments. I can't really remember them right now.
Do you have any combo related or like gameplay related moments where you felt like, oh, this was actually some shit?
Yeah, there's one combo I have. It's my first ever Giphy Cats. It's like
is it the Sheik one?
Yeah, you know the one.
Yes,
it's the Sheik one. It's not even a Marth one. It's just like because I've been doing this combo for like months, and I like wanted to do it on someone that wasn't like just on net play, and like I wanted like a legit combo with this. And it was just like doing Sheik up air into her up smash, the Dynasty combo, which like I tried it for like months, but I could never really get it. Or I think I got it like maybe a few times, but then that time I got it on stream versus like in real life. So that was like one of the fun moments of like a combo that I've been practicing that I actually got to do after a while. And it's a bit sad because you can see slime in the. I think it's decent. You can see slime in the like what's it called, the player cam. But you can't see me because off screen I'm like popping off. Like I actually just stood up from the chair and be like, yeah, I've been doing this for so long. But you can't see it unfortunately, so it's gone from the memory.
It was Slime's combo all along.
Yeah.
Finally, he did it. The Dynasty.
But yeah, so that was like one of the combo related ones, for sure. And then ever since then, like I've always thought like combos were one of the most fun things of the game. Just like doing cool combos. Yeah. I forget what the question was.
No, that was the question. If there were any game-related things that made you fall in love with the game that you have a strong memory of being happy with.
Yeah. I think I don't remember too much things that I did, like maybe like that combo and like getting ranked top 5. But it was lots just like watching the game, like looking at the game, like looking at tournaments and seeing people, like really good people play. I think that's like the biggest thing that made me really
motivated.
Yeah, and love the game. Like just for a long time, just looking at like Pew Pew's Marth was like insane to me. I thought he was like insane at the game, and just like looking at combo videos and everything just made me really want to become better. I think, especially combo videos.
Yeah.
I've looked at a lot of combo videos in my time.
Do you remember your first major?
Well, it depends if it's a major or not. It was a what's it called, a regional? Is that when it was a Gaston in, I'm not sure if it was 2015 or 2016. But that was my first tournament, like out of Stockholm, and honestly, I don't remember how I did. I think I did not too good. That was my first tournament outside of Stockholm. There'd been some, because I'd met some of the Gothenburgers before. Do you even say like Gothenburgers? What do you say?
The fucking burgers?
Some burgers? Burger?
Any burgers in the chat?
But yeah,
so.
So I'd met some of them already in like Faust tournaments, the Smash Satra, I think they were called. The bigger ones. That was like, I mean, it wasn't like a big, but it was big for like a local-ish kind of thing.
Yeah. How many people attended Gaston? Do you remember?
I actually have no clue. Probably like maybe like 90 people or something. You can probably look it up on like, or maybe not, because it was Smash GG was a thing back then. But there's probably like a challenge somewhere.
Yeah.
On redacted accounts.
Yeah. I remember Gaston happening. That was the first like regional or major or whatever that happened since I started, I think.
Yeah.
Because I started roughly around 2015.
Yeah.
So that's cool that was your first experience. How was it meeting all the people from a different region? Did you hang out with any people or like get to know any players outside of Stockholm? I
think I was kind of too awkward to talk to people that I didn't really know. But there was some people that came up to me like, "Oh, hey, I'm this guy," or from like, you know, Netplay. Like Metallics came up to me and talked to me. And I probably met like Tony Malone. I probably met for like maybe not the first time, but like met Tony Malone. I think like just like those like Netplay people that I kind of knew from online.
From the chat,
I probably talked to them some. But yeah, I probably mostly kept to the Stockholmers.
Yeah. And you say you don't remember the tournament in and of itself too much, but how did you like the experience of going out of region to like a larger event?
I think it was really hype because it's always like special the first time you go, and I think I probably wanted to do better than I did, but I think it was just fun, just like being around. Like it just felt real somehow, because like in locals it's just like, yeah, you're just playing in locals, but like a real tournament is like different. There's like a different vibe to it, where everyone is like tryharding a bit more, and you know, you like watch like top 8 to like see like, cause like maybe on locals you would look at like maybe grands or something, but usually people would just like play the game.
Yeah.
But then like watching people play grands was really hype, or just like top 8, or like look at maybe like dating, or like how is dating gonna do versus this person, or
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, it was really fun. Majors are definitely always the most fun part, I think. Maybe not always, but yeah. Chonky Chicken.
Chonky Chicken.
My favorite player.
Temping is probably someone from around here.
Yeah.
Do you think it's Victor Alsos?
No, I don't think so, because I played against Victor also, and he doesn't. Or maybe he's gotten a Smurf recently, but I played against him recently, and then he wasn't on a Smurf.
I was just guessing because 10 ping seems like Norway type ping, maybe? Maybe it's a bit too low.
I think it's too low. But also, Victor also doesn't play this color. But if he's Smurfing, then
he doesn't? I thought he did.
No, I don't think he does. I think he plays neutral, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So playing majors, it felt like it was a much bigger deal when you were at a major, and it made you want to go to more.
Yeah, for sure. I don't remember which ones I went in between that and Beast, but then Beast was probably my next one.
Was DreamHack between them and
Oh yeah, it must. Oh yeah. DreamHack was between them. DreamHack winner. I think it was the first, not the first DreamHack, but the first like DreamHack after like a very long time.
Yeah.
And I remember that tournament because I actually did pretty well, and I was pretty happy about how I played. I'll get fucked. Because for one, it was like my first tournament that actually felt like international, not just Swedish.
Yeah, because at that DreamHack, it was the DreamHack 2015?
Yeah, DreamHack winner 2015.
Yeah, so it wasn't that the one where like Duck went?
Yeah, Duck was there, 8box was there, I think Wizrobe was there, and then...
Back then, Duck and Wizrobe weren't as prominent that they would become later.
Yeah. But they were still really good players, and people knew who they were.
Yeah. Axe?
I don't think Axe was there, but maybe he was. I don't remember.
He was at another one. I definitely know that Axe went to a summit. To a DreamHack.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a later one.
Maybe. Actually, no, it was it was that one, because I remember now that he played Youngling versus Fao, and Fao talked about it, because Pikachu versus Isis is trash, so he played Youngling. But yeah, it went pretty well for me at that tournament. I don't know.
Okay. He quit out in the middle, said that was fun, and then leaves.
Okay, wait, what was... Oh yeah, and then, because I did pretty well at the... No, thank you, that's fine. I did pretty well at the tournaments. I made it out of pools, which I didn't think I would.
Do you remember who you beat?
I don't remember his name. He had a weird name. He was a French Falcon that I beat in pools to get out.
Okay.
And then I played Amsa as well. The...
Chic Amsa.
Yeah, the Chic Amsa. And in bracket later, I think I went 1 and 2. And the thing is, I went 2-1 with BR Tarog, which I thought was really surprising, because I knew about BR Tarog, and I knew they were really good. And I almost like won, you know. So that was even more like getting more like international experience, I suppose. Was pretty fun. But yeah, that tournament was also just like really fun overall.
Yeah, it was just at DreamHack also. So like, you got a bunch of other experiences along with the tournament vibe. You got to like, walk around and drink some Monster Energy.
Yeah, it was really gamer vibes.
Biggest gamer vibes.
Yeah.
Was that that was not one of the ones where we were in a terrible spot where it was just noisy everywhere?
No, that was...
I think that was like 2016 or something.
Yeah, because I don't remember which ones, because I went to both the winter and the summer ones, because there were 2 tournaments every year.
Yeah.
Or at least for like...
The summer ones were way better because we had a different part of the venue.
Yeah. Except for the
last one.
The first one was pretty good. That one we had a different venue as well.
Yeah.
That was really big as well.
Yeah.
That one was nice, but then after that it became worse and worse.
Yeah. Fun story about DreamHack that I this is like an off the DreamHack where Hungrybox came that you were talking about, the 2015 one.
Yeah.
He had a huge meet and greet in the DreamHack halls.
Oh,
And it's one of my favorite pieces of lore that I have been a part of. It was me and a Smash friend of mine, known as Snabbjur. Shout out to Snabbjur. We miss you every day. We're at the DreamHack venue, and this big meet and greet in the entrance of DreamHack was taking place, where they had set up like a queue that was ready and long enough to fit 100 people with like the zigzag lines and everything. And Hungrybox, coming from America, being known to like, or probably prone to thinking that people want something signed and stuff, came there prepared with like a pen and everything. And literally nobody showed up. Like, the meet and greet there was no one there. So when I walked past and the rest of the DreamHack venue just passed right by him, I felt so bad. And so I asked Snabbjur, can't we ask for something? Can we go up and talk to him at least?
Yeah.
He looked so lonely.
Yeah.
and Snabbjur was like the biggest Mango fan, so he didn't really want to do it.
Yeah.
But he did it anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
So we went up to him and I started talking something about like Falco Puff or something, because I have Popmeister in my pool or something like that. I don't remember. And he gave me some tips or whatever, and then at the end I took the signed poster and I was like, yeah man, but I gotta go, see ya, have fun at this thing. It's like, yeah, see you man, nice to meet you. And I threw his autograph in the trash can. Like right after getting it. Because and I feel so bad for it, kind of, because like it wasn't even that far from the.
I just imagine him looking over and seeing you throw it in the trash.
That's what I mean. What if he saw? He like followed us after the meet and greet was over, and he sees me putting it in the trash can. Mango! Fuck H-Box, man! So in hindsight, maybe that was more BM than actually just ignoring him and walking past him. Because I actively went out of my way to throw away his autograph.
Exactly. Oh, but he didn't realize that he came to Sweden where no one does that. We don't like take people's autographs really.
No.
It just like doesn't happen.
The culture's different here. But that was a funny story I just wanted to tell. But keeping track on like, who's that? Air. Keeping track on tournaments you went to and events. How did you feel like the rise was for you? Because you mentioned you went from your first PR where you got 15th up until the point where you got 5th.
Honestly, it's like hard to remember, because I feel like you kind of just like become slowly better over time, and then it's kind of hard to be like, oh, when did I become good, I guess. But I think, and it's also hard because I never really had any like rivals, I guess, that I really like wanted to be like like we were really close or something, and then.
You mentioned some in the beginning, like Nike and Potts. What happened to them?
I think Nike kind of stopped playing, I think. But then with Potts, I feel like he always beat me, but then I beat him like maybe once or twice, and then I kind of just never lost to him again. Unless I was playing secondaries. So that's like the story of like a lot of things. It felt like I kind of surpassed someone, and then I never lost to them again, I think. Well, maybe not never, but like it was very rare. Which I think that's a lot to do with like my punish game, because punish game doesn't really matter who you're playing against. So I think that just made me really consistent. So once I got like good enough punish game and like a decent neutral to like beat someone, then I could always out punish them after I'd learned something. So I think I was really consistent in that regard.
It's funny that you should mention that you are really consistent, because you are one of the placement-wise less consistent players in Stockholm.
Yeah, but that's because when I say I'm consistent with Marth.
Yes.
But it's like through my entire, I guess it feels weird to say career, but like when I've played Smash, I've always just like played secondaries in tournaments here and there, and you know, like switched main like for a couple months, like, oh, I want to try Peach, and then I just played Peach for like half a year or something. Yeah, or Fox. And then I've always played Falco. I never mained Falco, but I've always played him, and I just kind of just like played him a bunch in tournaments and stuff. Which I think that started around like 2016. I think that's when I was like, oh, I'm gonna try main Fox for a while.
Yeah.
And then I just played Fox, but then my Marth was always better.
I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like you started playing around with secondaries more when you just started beating everyone on net play with Marth.
That might be true, but I also feel like I definitely didn't beat everyone at like net play. Like I think there were still people that were really hard. Like Metallics, I remember was really. I never played him that much, but I always thought he was really hard to beat. And like, what more? I feel like there were like lots of players that I wasn't like 100% going to beat. But I don't know. I think I was just like interested in other characters generally, and just like learning about them and playing them. Because maybe like with Peach, I saw like someone do like a combo. It could be as simple as that. I saw someone do a cool combo with Peach, and I'm like, oh, I want to learn Peach because that looked cool. Or like, you know, watching Armada play, I'm like, oh, Peach is really fun to play, or like whatever. And I think that's like the biggest thing, or like the biggest reason as to why I played out so many other characters as I did. Which, I mean, placement-wise, obviously it was pretty bad. When I like lost to like people I shouldn't lose to, or like who I'm seated above because I'm playing secondaries. But I think in the long run, it made me a lot better as a player to be able to play lots of different characters.
It gives you like a deeper understanding of
Yeah,
characters' toolkits and stuff. Or
yeah, just like the matchup on the other side, and like being like, what are they looking for, and everything like that. And also just like maybe some stuff that you wouldn't use as often with Marth, which you might be able, like, which you might have used with like Peach. So for example, like I never really used CC as Marth, but I think after I played Peach, I still was pretty bad at using CC, but I became better at it at least, which I probably wouldn't have if I didn't play Peach. And stuff like that. Which isn't really like matchup specific, it's just like general knowledge of the game that you just use more with different characters.
I feel like to you also as a player who, from having told me before that you didn't watch a lot of Melee except for combo videos, like you didn't actively try to analyze gameplay and try to improve that way.
Yeah.
Playing the different characters seems like a good way to like practice intuitively without having to sit down and like watch the game outside of playing it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I think I never really like analyzed the game like super hard, but I always watched the game just like, you know, casually, or like when there's tournaments and everything. And I do think like a lot of that came like I would see stuff, you know, like if I saw a combo, I would be like, wow, that's cool, or whatever. But I wouldn't really analyze it.
Yeah.
That is like the same way you do, for example. But I was still like, I think automatically kind of analyze or like watch what people were doing,
for sure.
but not like maybe frame per frame, or like go back and watch it. Like I watched it once and I was like, oh, that's, if I noticed something that I did, and if I didn't, then I didn't. Kind of.
For sure. Okay. I got distracted by what happened there.
Yeah.
Was that because he grabbed the ledge the same frame you hit him? With your
Yeah,
grab?
it might have been. not sure if Wispy was playing. It might have been something Wispy related also.
Okay. Acidics. Okay.
Yeah, I tried, but I was too high.
Yeah.
If I was closer to the platform, it might have worked. Well, that's shield up counter to punish this.
That's a legendary player. You mentioned playing net play.
Yeah.
How did net play impact your play or like formative years of Smash?
Well, I mean, net play was always the one thing I played the most, since it was accessible and like just easy to play. Like I could just like go home and then play Smash. I didn't have to like bring anyone over, so I definitely played the most net play out of all the gameplay that I've played. So it definitely helped me a lot, especially since you get to play a lot of different matchups and people and players and etc., which you might not have had if you only played in Stockholm, for example. So yeah, netplay was definitely like, I mean, probably the biggest way for me to improve. At least after like 2016, maybe, when I got the official Nintendo adapter. Because before that, the adapter was really bad.
You had the 2-port one, or?
Yeah, I still have it at home.
Yeah.
I have it as a possession, as a prize.
Yeah.
But yeah, because that one was really bad. But then after that, it became obviously not as CRT, but it was pretty close. Yeah, so netplay was definitely like the biggest, probably the biggest wave of me improving.
Yeah.
And also, I also did play a lot of Smash in the SS meetups.
Yeah. Tell me about SS.
Well, SS was a crew of me, Arson, Tengil, Deidi was in there later as well. Pots, Jupiter, and I forget who I said. But yeah, those people basically. Rose Trail, the one I played against, my first tournaments ever, was also, he was not part of SS, but he was Arson's friend, so he was also at those meets sometimes. But yeah, we would just like gather at Arson's house every weekend, and we would play Smash for like the first maybe a few hours, and then we would always just get shit-faced drunk.
And you were at this time the tender age of like 16?
No, I was 16. So yeah, I was drinking heavily when I was 16.
Playing Mario Party.
Yeah. So yeah, after we played Smash for a few hours, then we would always switch over to Mario Party, or maybe like something, I don't know, whatever, Mario Party or some like party game. But yeah, that was definitely luck, because I definitely played a lot with Deidi, for example, during those like meets. So that was my like biggest, aside from going to like locals, that was my biggest like form of offline practice. Which, I mean, since we were always drinking, it wasn't always super serious, but it was still something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that and netplay was probably the biggest things.
It's funny because netplay, I feel like, separated a lot of the generation that was before and the generation that was after, in the sense that the top level players of yonder was like, none of them were on netplay basically.
Yeah.
Whereas the people who then became the better ones, or the ones that would later surpass them, like Deidi or you, or Pipsqueak even later on, were all super on netplay.
Yeah.
All the time. Only netplay, almost.
Yeah. I think it's definitely like still just like the best way to improve, I think. Unless you live somewhere like in SoCal, maybe where there's like tournaments, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
But even still, Lux.
Shout outs to Stockholm.
Shout outs to Lux.
Shout outs to the goat of VODs. Yes.
Yeah. Also, go to Fox of Stockholm.
Yeah.
Better than Pipsqueak.
Yeah. Of course.
because Pipsqueak is in the US. He's
Yeah,
not Stockholm
he's
anymore.
not here anymore. No, but there's a Stockholm, or not Stockholm. There's a fucking meme. Fuck netplay meme. What's that all about? He played so much netplay. What the fuck is fuck netplay?
Well, I think since I'm so much of a perfectionist, I think, and especially netplay earlier, was way more laggy, and sometimes it would just like spike randomly, it would just like freeze and everything. It was never perfect netplay. It's pretty close now, but yeah. So and because I was such a perfectionist, like as soon as like it would freeze, or maybe if it was like a little laggy or whatever, I would get so pissed because I always played with like I wanted to be super precise and everything, and if it lags, you can't really be precise. So that made me really, really pissed for a long time.
How did that transform into fuck netplay?
I think I would just like, I don't know, just say fuck Netflix, because I was like, yeah, offline is just better.
You definitely only when you lost or when you had a bad time in a netplay session, you would every time say fuck netplay.
Yeah.
That is why. GG's fuck netplay was like one of the most common things you would see from you in the chat.
Yeah. I think a lot of the time it was also just like the first few times it was like actually, but then eventually it became like a meme. I was like, even if I like had fun, I'd be like, yeah, fuck netplay.
Yeah.
Because I'm a bit sad because that emote is gone, but there was a fuck netplay emote in some server.
Yeah.
Probably the Nordic one.
Yeah.
Which does not exist anymore.
No.
But yeah.
How do you feel like the netplay landscape has changed now that Slippy's out?
I mean, it's basically like playing CRT, and you can play anyone. Like, because that's the thing. 'Cause even with netplay before, I kind of would, since I was so like annoyed by like lag and stuff, I would avoid playing people that was outside of Sweden or like Nordic countries. But now it's like I can play anyone, and like it's fine. It's very rare that it lags. Or like, I think recently my internet's become bad for some reason. But yeah, generally you can play against most people, and it's totally fine. You could before, but it was painful, and I didn't like it.
Following your major entry at DreamHack, were there any other majors that meant a lot to you or that you have fond memories from?
Yeah, so after DreamHack, I'm pretty sure the next one was Beasts, because that was in like February, I think. So Beast 6, and that one was like I went into it being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play a lot and just like try and play really well. But both of the Beasts, that one and the one year after pools and day one, I would get really drunk and then I wouldn't be able to wake up for brackets the next day.
This is true.
So both of the Beasts, I actually did not play in brackets, even though I got out of pools, because I just slept through the bracket because I gone so drunk the day before. Which I mean, it was fun, but it wasn't really. It was more of like a social event, I think, both of them, than a tournament for me, just because of that reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the like next one. It should have been. And I don't actually remember the tournaments in between Beast 6 and Beast 7. I think Ascension was probably there as well.
Alright, Ascension.
Somewhere along those lines. Which I remember. Oh yeah, I think the first Ascension I played. I remember. Like the only thing I remember really was that I played Stux in Winners Round 1, and I beat him.
At the time, Skåne or Scania's, I think it's Scania. I don't know. Skåne.
Yeah, Scania.
Yeah, the best player.
Yeah, and I had beaten him like a few months before, I think, in the Ace of Smash tournaments. That was the first time I'd ever met stacks. And there was kind of like beef because he was, this up and coming rising player, and I was this up and coming rising player.
And you were both roughly the same age.
Yeah, and so we were gonna play, and it was kind of like it was pretty hype, I think.
Yeah.
And there's VODs on it on YouTube as well. But yeah, so that's the first time we played.
Who won?
And I won 2-1 or 3-2. I don't remember if it was best of 5 or not. But yeah, I won that one, and then I won again in Ascension. But then directly after playing stacks, I played against Kikko, or Kikkoman.
I remember this. This is at Ace.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think Kikkoman was considered better than stacks.
No, might be.
At the time. I'm not sure, but I think it was close, probably.
Close, yeah.
So then after playing stacks, I was like, oh, now I have to play Kikkoman. He's like even better.
Yeah.
And then I just destroyed Kikkoman. Like it wasn't even close.
Yeah, I remember this.
So I was like, oh shit. So then I was like, oh, so stacks is like the best player in Scania.
Yeah.
But then at the tournament, the Ascension one, I played against stacks in winners round 1. And then it was the same bracket. I played against him into Kikkoman immediately. So it was the same bracket, but this time I actually got destroyed by Kikkoman. I think he beat me like 2-0, like really solidly. I didn't even have like a chance, basically.
Okay. What do you think happened between the two?
I think it might have been a little bit that I was like, oh, Kikkoman is much worse than Stux. I should beat him maybe or something. But I think I just lost pretty like fair and square. I don't
just
think
played well.
Yeah. He might have just like played really well. Or really bad at Ace of Smash tournament.
Might have been drunk as fuck.
Yeah, maybe. I smuggled myself into the Ace of Smash tournament because I wasn't allowed to be there because I was not of age.
Yeah. So for all you Red Bull youngers, all your youngsters in Stockholm who didn't get to go to the Red Bull Gaming Sphere event,
yeah, just smuggle yourself in.
Smuggle yourself in. Don't do it.
But it was this elaborate plan because we were planning it for like maybe a month. Like, oh, how are we gonna get you in to this tournament?
Yeah.
And eventually it ended up because they needed to like have people
carry the CRTs.
Right?
Right?
Carry CRTs and stuff before the tournament. Yeah. You know, like maybe like 3 p.m. You know, like on like before everything started. And they never checked for IDs there. So I just like, oh, hey, I'm gonna help carry CRTs and stuff. And they were like, oh yeah, nice, here they are, carry them. And then I did, and then I just stayed inside the venue, and then they don't check you if...
As long as you don't leave.
As long as I don't leave and come back, yeah.
And you didn't buy any alcohol either, so then like
no,
they wouldn't
but I'm
check.
pretty sure Tegel bought one for me, or something. So yeah.
Wasn't that the tournament you lost to Jadde?
No, I lost to Masterkai, and no, actually I didn't lose to Masterkai, but I lost to right after I played against Kikko. I played against Lamp, and I lost to Lamp 3-1, I think. I don't actually remember who I lost to in winners.
I think
it might have been Jadde. I don't remember.
I think it was Jadde.
Yeah, it might have been.
So then, this is around the time where you started attending basically every major in Sweden that happened, right?
Yeah, I've been to most of them. At least ones that maybe not so much north. Like I never really went upwards.
I'm gonna get some water.
Yeah, but apart from that, I went to most of them probably. But I don't remember if I missed any. I might have missed some that I just don't remember now. But yeah.
Do you feel like you ever had a rivalry with any of the people above you after you got top 5? Like the era where you were considered one of the top players of Stockholm?
Well, not really. I think I still was almost never able to take a set off Masterkai. I took one set, which we could talk about, which was interesting. And I think, I'm not sure if I ever beat Dady. I know I got close several times. And that's when I also started like playing a lot of Sheik. And I played Sheik against Dady in tournament. And I think to this day, I think my Sheik is still up on Dady in like games. You know, because I would play like Marth game 1 and 2. I remember once that I played Marth game 1 and 2. And I lost, so I was down 2-0. So then I picked Sheik. And I beat him game 3. And then he picked some other stage that was like maybe Pokemon. And I beat him again. But then he picked FD. And I was like, oh, I can't beat Sheik on FD, so I picked Marth. But then I lost. So I lost 3 games as Marth, but I won 2 as Sheik.
Yeah. So for a long period of time, your Sheik just kept winning, whereas your Marth lost every time?
Yeah. But I also felt like, because I was a Marth main, so I kind of just like eventually stopped playing as Sheik, I think. Because I was like, I should win with Marth, I should just play Marth. I shouldn't need a counter pick for Samus as Marth.
Yeah.
That's dumb. So I think I just stopped playing Sheik eventually.
The landscape back then was the top players that were above you were Masterkai, who also played Marth, Daddy, who played Samus, and Foul, who played Ice Climbers.
Yeah. And then I think Ashtray was still above me, but I think he still came to tournaments, but not as often, because I don't remember playing Ashtray that often, actually.
No.
I remember beating him in the Sheik Ditto. Some tournament. That wasn't as the Houdini one.
So you felt like at this time you didn't have much of a rivalry against any of the people?
No, I still think that they were kind of solidly above me, even though I could maybe come close to both Didi and Masterkai. I never really took sets, kind of.
Yeah.
Same with Foul. I just lost the Foul.
Yeah. Now you said that you took 1 set from Masterkai.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't remember when it was, but there was some tournament where it was just like a random SU weekly, and I went there, and like midway through, like not the tournament, when I came there, I realized like I'm like sick, like I have a fever, but the tournament was like starting, so I was like, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna play Link so that I lose quickly and I can go home. And I mean, in hindsight, I should have just said like DQ me, and then I should have just went home.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play Link. And at this time, I'd played a lot of Link. I like played a lot of Link on NetPlay, so I knew how to play the character. It's not like I just picked up Link or something. And so I don't remember who I played round 1, but I won my first match. And then, or maybe it was round 3 that I lost, or that I played against Masterkai. But yeah, like round 3 or something, I played against Masterkai. And I mean, I played Link. Like, no one thought anything was gonna happen. Like, I was playing Link. They thought I was just gonna lose super hard, and I thought so as well. But then I think I beat him game 1 kind of solidly with Link, and I was like, what the fuck? Why am I winning? Kind of. And then game 2, I'm pretty sure he like almost 4-stocks me back. I was like, okay, that was like first game was just a fluke. And then game 3, I think I 3-stock him.
Which game was? What stages were you on?
I don't remember. I think game 3, the one where I 3-stocked him, must have been Dreamland. I think because that's a logical counter pick. I don't remember the other games except for game 5. Game 5 was on Pokemon.
Okay.
And then game 3 I beat him 3-stocks, and then game 4 he like beats me solidly again. So it's like really back and forth. And then game 5, I think I'm up 3-stocks to 1 on Pokemon, and then he like brings it back, I think, and then it's 1-stock to 1, and then I managed to close it out with like maybe an up B or something. But yeah, because that was interesting, because I'd never beaten Masterkai before in the Marth Ditto, and I had lots of chances. You know, I'd gone taking games and become close, but I never took a set off him. And then this one day where I have a fever, I'm just playing Link because I want to get home early.
Yeah.
And I beat him. I'm like, okay, I guess I beat him.
And to this day, you have never played Link against Masterkai in tournament again, right?
No, I haven't. So I mean, I should have played in the tournament where he was here, and I should have played Link. I didn't think of that. That would have been hype. I wonder if he even remembers.
He definitely does.
Does he?
Don't you think so?
I mean,
if you got beat by a Link, a player you never play or never lose against, and you play against literally every week, and suddenly they pull out their stupid fucking low tier Link and they beat you.
Yeah.
You must remember.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Because when I think about it, he'd been thinking a little bit about like switching to Falco. I remember.
Yeah.
And I think I remember him telling me or someone that like, I don't think he told it out of it. He was basically saying like, "Oh, I lost Link. I'm gonna switch to Falco."
Yeah.
Because he was like, I can't play Marth if I lose Link.
Yeah.
Kind of that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I definitely helped him.
You crushed his spirit so hard.
Yeah.
That he switched characters for a while.
Exactly.
Monu was asked about in the chat. I feel like Monu never was active in the Stockholm community.
He wasn't really, no. I've definitely played him, but I think the thing is, he doesn't have that much experience in the Marth Ditto, and I played against Masterkai every week. So I think, I just remember one time where I, like the one time I remember playing against him on a just like weekly after I became good, was I kind of just like destroyed him. I just remember before socking him on FD, and it was kind of not that close. But I think it's just because he's not as good in the Marth Ditto. He was really good versus spaces. I think if I mained spaces, I probably would have never really beaten him because he was really good versus spaces. But I was just like so practiced in the Marth matchup that I could beat him, I think. But we never really played.
It was only on netplay, right?
No, that wasn't on netplay. That was offline
Okay.
on SC local.
Yeah, when he like went when he just had moved and then he stopped.
Yeah.
So after this, there was a period where you started being able to beat Dady, at least I remember. I don't think you beat Masterkai that much even after, because Masterkai kind of quit before you started beating him consistently.
Yeah. I think I never really got to beat Masterkai. Maybe I did like once towards the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he pretty much stopped. I don't remember if he moved, if that's when it was when he moved, and that's why he stopped. But yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think he moved.
So I never really got to beat Masterkai. And there was a period where I started beating Dady. This was before Air 5, like right before Air 5, where I think I was like 3-1 versus Dady, I think, like recently. So I felt pretty good going into Air. But then at Air, I do play Dady in bracket, and he absolutely destroys me. I think it was like 3-0, not even close. So he definitely won on the bigger stage. But yeah, so I got to beat Dady a few times. I think I took 2 sets of foul that season, but he was still up maybe like 4 sets to 2, or maybe even more. And yeah, so I never really got to beat him or what's it called? Him or Masterkai.
Yeah.
But that was right before Air, which Air was kind of my breakout tournament, at least like internationally, where people would be like, they would like know who I am or who I were after that tournament, because they had no idea. Because I was seeded like I think I looked at the picture before coming out. I was seeded like 161, I think.
So you were seeded as one of the top players in your pool, but you weren't seeded as... You were like maybe the second seed in your pool or something, weren't you?
Yeah, I probably was. Yeah, something like that probably. I don't remember how many pools there were, but yeah, probably a second seed. But I was a pretty low second seed, so I had a pretty good third seed, I think. But there were 2 pools as well. I don't remember the first.
The first pool you beat Kellner.
Yeah, the first pool I beat Kellner. Yeah, I was definitely second seed in that one, and then I was second seed in the pool after as well.
Where you had Mint, right?
Where I had Mint, Mint and who's the do you know the IC players, the ICs players,
Bomboni.
not Bomboni, that's the
No?
Falcon. I
Oh,
think.
sorry. Yeah, but it was Bombo or something.
Yeah.
There was one that was called Bombo and Bomboni or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But
Um,
I know the one.
Yeah. And I think I remember him. I had a Bowser player in my pool.
What?
Yeah.
What a legend.
Yeah, he's a legend. And then I had Jam, I think, Fox player from
Right.
UK, I think.
Famous for N64 Smash, did you know?
I have no idea.
He's like the best in Europe in Smash 64, I think.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But yeah, I played against him, and I had a really close set versus him. I think it was like a really last hits 2-1 victory to me. Oh yeah, and I played. Oh, what's his name? It was a German Falco.
Four Tilt.
No, it was. I don't think it was Four Tilts.
It was not Kinso.
No. I don't remember his
Are
name.
you sure it wasn't Four
I
Tilt?
don't think so. Maybe it was. Actually, I don't remember. It might have been. I don't remember. But yeah, I beat a German Falco. That was also pretty close. I actually had that pool was kind of close in all games. The Mint's set was 2-0, but it was I don't know. It was at least kind of respectable from my end. Yeah, and then and that was the first tournament where in the first pool I beat Kellner, which people were like who the fuck are you, kind of.
And you also kind of 3-stocked them, didn't you? You destroyed them, I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong, but I remember
Maybe
it was pretty handedly.
Yeah, I think game 2 was like a 2-stock maybe. It was pretty convincingly. Yeah, it was. And so then after that, people were kind of I think people kind of took note of me, because one of the commentators, I think it was who's the Green Sheik commentator, not in control, imperfect. He said oh, I've got pretty good knowledge about the Swedish scene, but I've never heard of Eekim before.
Yeah. Which, if you haven't heard of you don't have good knowledge of the Swedish scene.
yeah. But still, I think I'm also because I never really do anything on Twitter, and I am very quiet, I guess. I don't really was never on Twitter. I never really posted anything.
You also got drunk every major that he probably attended and didn't play.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's not weird that he doesn't know who I am.
Yeah.
But that was definitely one of the first tournaments where people started taking note of who I was, and that I was actually really good.
What happened after you played those pools?
So in bracket, I think one of the reasons why I what's it called? Fuck.
Did so well, or what?
One of the reasons why I got 13th was because Armada dropped out. So I probably wouldn't have gotten 13 if Armada didn't drop out.
Oh.
But I would still take those.
I didn't know that was why. Did you get his part of the bracket?
Yeah, so instead of playing Armada, I played against a good Fox, a UK Fox. So it wasn't it was free, but it was still...
Who was the UK Fox?
I don't remember his name.
So it wasn't Jam?
Not Jam.
It wasn't Mint?
No.
It wasn't Prof?
No.
What Foxes did they have?
It was... I don't remember his name, unfortunately. I mean, if you look at the brackets, he's there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played against him, and I beat him 3-1, I think. And I would have played Armada in his spot instead. So I would have went to losers much earlier if I...
Yeah.
And then after I beat him, I played against Pasi, which was I think it was the best Austrian player at the time, or at least he was.
It was him or
Timmy.
Timmy, yeah.
Yeah. And I beat him also 3-1, I think. And then after that is when I play against Dady, and I got destroyed, basically. And I think it was because I'd played against so many foxes. I'm not used to playing against foxes that much, and I played against so many foxes that event. So I think I was maybe not in the like perfect mindset for playing against the Samus after playing, like basically only foxes for like the whole tournaments.
Yeah.
But yeah, I lost against Dady. And then in losers, I play against Vidal, who just beat Zork. So I would have played Zork if Vidal didn't beat Zork.
You would have won against Zork, though.
I think I would have won against Zork. Because Falco was one of my better matchups at the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I played against Vidal, and that was really close. I think it was 3-2. And it was not streamed, but it was recorded on a phone. But yeah, so I played against Vidal, and then I beat him 3-2, and then then the set after I played against Amsa.
The Sheik Amsa.
The Sheik Amsa, yeah. And I would have 3-stocked in game 1 if I just did a correct combo, but then I fucked it up, and then he got a comeback, and then he beat me 3-0. But still, that was a really good tournament for me. Like,
getting 13th at the how many entrants were there? 700, 500, something?
Yeah, it was like 570 or something. Like
yeah. That's an insane number of players.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is, speaking of Stockholm as a region, people in Europe might not be aware that Stockholm is a fucking powerhouse. At this air, you got 13th, and you were ranked top 5 in Stockholm.
Yeah.
And Dady got 5th.
Yeah.
And was, of course, well, at that point, 2nd in Stockholm, and Leffen, of course. So the region was stacked as fuck in this era, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. We were super stacked. And Pipsqueak was there as well. Pipsqueak was becoming good at that time.
Started beating, I think he beat Mai at that tournament and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the era where Pipsqueak and Sprak started coming up.
Yeah, oh yeah. Sprak was there. I don't actually remember how it went for Sprak, but...
meh.
Yeah. Sometimes it do be like that.
Yeah, I don't think Sprak has ever had a really outstanding, major performance.
Yeah.
But he only went to, 2. He only went to that one air, and then, fucking...
Valhalla, maybe?
What did you say?
Valhalla, maybe?
No. Phoenix Blue.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he went to Valhalla.
Maybe he did. I don't remember.
So tell me about what it was like. Well, first, keep going on the 13th. What was it like for you, that tournament?
It was kind of insane, because I obviously didn't expect to become 13th, or get to 13th, because, I don't know, I expected myself to do pretty well, but I didn't think I would actually beat all these players that I'd never played against before. Because Pasi was, he was the best player in Austria, and I'd seen him play. He's kind of, I don't know how old school, but I'd seen him play.
Yeah.
For sure. And it was really fun. It was a really fun tournament overall, especially just traveling outside of Sweden for once. For a tournament, which also felt even more special than just going to another tournament in Sweden. Actually going to another country playing was also really fun. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't. It was the same thing with the Swedish tournaments, but I didn't speak that much to other international players, I guess.
Yeah.
I mostly kept myself to the Swedish players.
Yeah.
So I still didn't really get to know a lot of the people outside of Sweden.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of Twitter followers from it, so
yeah,
that's hype. Oh,
goodbye.
that was a fair. I didn't do that.
Did you feel nervous in any of those matches?
Yeah, I think surprisingly not as much when I played against Pasi and no, but the other folks, the UK folks.
Ah, okay. Mm-hmm.
But versus Vidal, yeah, I felt super nervous. I think, but I think that was also because that was the only set that was like close.
Yeah.
So that I was really nervous that set. I remember. And then versus Amsa, I wasn't really nervous because again, it wasn't that close.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was probably like generally like kind of nervous all throughout, not like super nervous about it, like anyone specific except for the Weedle sets.
We got a question in chat about nerves, asking if you have something you do to calm your nerves when you're playing.
If I not really know, I think I don't really have anything that I do to like calm my nerves. Honestly, I'm not sure why even, because I feel like I'm pretty clutch as a player, but I don't know what it is that I do. Because if I'm nervous, I'm just like nervous, and I don't really like I don't take breathers or anything. I don't pause. You know, so much that it became a meme eventually. You know, the Andas Eekim.
Yeah.
Where like I wouldn't like I would like just like, immediately go in.
You never took any
time at all to.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's a meme on me.
Yeah. Yeah, you're the one that created the meme.
I created the meme.
Yeah, for sure.
I got nervous for you when you just rushed in all the time. So it's like, fucking breathe for once in your life, you stupid idiot.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
But I think that's one of the things that like, because I've always, well not always, but like I've always been really, when I'm playing, and I'm playing when I'm like pissed, it can go really badly, or sometimes it goes really like well. Because sometimes, sometimes I feel like, I remember once, for example, when I lost for game 1 to Gillian, and I was like, I'm better than this. I shouldn't lose. And then I just like played with rage, and I kind of just like.
You were a Sith Lord.
Yeah, I'm literally a Sith Lord of the Smash community. So I think, but sometimes it would make me feel, or like play much worse. But sometimes it would like just help me, I think. But it was never like healthy because I was just like pissed.
You put in your AirPods and you started playing Let the Bodies Hit the Floor.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah. Or some like People Equals Shit by Slipknot.
Yeah. I'm better than this, I'm better than you, I don't give a shit anymore, I don't want to play this game.
Exactly. No, but I think it was a little bit of a double-edged sword, but sometimes it helped me.
Not much after the time where you went to Air, you locally got ranked number 1 on the PR.
No.
No?
No.
Was it number 2?
I was never number 1.
Was it number 2 after Daily?
I don't remember, but I know there's been at least one power ranking where it's like, yeah, it should be number 1. But the reason that I never got number 1 is because I played Falco or like Fox in tournaments. So like I would have been ranked number 1, but I had like versus Pipsqueak. I remember there's like I was like up 4-1 versus Pipsqueak when he also started beating Dady and stuff. So like I think I was up on Dady that season, and I was up on Pipsqueak, and I was down on Foul, but both of the other ones were up on Foul.
Yeah.
And this was with Marth, but I think I was like negative versus all of them because I played lots of Falco.
Yeah, and also lost to other players because you played Falco.
Yeah, exactly. But if I had just played Marth, I think I would have been ranked first.
Probably.
Or if I just didn't go to the tournaments that I played secondaries in, I think I would have gone ranked first.
Yeah.
But because of that, I never got ranked first.
And I feel like this is one of those cases after that point, you kept being second because you kept on going, because Davey quit kind of, because of real life stuff.
Yeah.
Masterkai moved, and then suddenly it was like you, Foul, and Pipsqueak at the top, and then Sprak, May, or Red Blaze, previously, May now,
Yeah.
and Pipsqueak, of course. Or I already mentioned Pipsqueak, I meant Stux
Yeah.
and Sharp coming up later, but were like the Stockholm top at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
What did you feel like happened to you in that period of time where the other people started rising up and, like in some cases with Pipsqueak, got past you?
Well, that's the thing. After Air, not too long after, it was, maybe it was, I don't remember when Air was exactly. I remember playing on at Valhalla 2.
Mm-hmm.
And that's after that tournament is when I kind of, because that was like a really shit tournament for me. Not like tournament-wise, or, well, yes, tournament-wise.
Tournament-wise, yeah.
But mostly just like feeling like shit, like we talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I kind of decided it's probably not good that I'm playing the game while I feel like this so much. Because like when I lose, it feels even worse, and I feel like I have to like fix that before I can keep playing the game.
Yeah.
So like after that tournament, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna try and play the game as seriously anymore. And that was in 2019.
I think so.
Yeah, the very beginning of 2019, because
Yeah.
Valhalla was in January of 2019.
Yeah. You lost to Big M.
I did, yeah, Big M and Yadda, I
Yeah.
think.
And Yadda you have never beaten still, right? But you've been
No.
super close.
Yeah, I played a few sets that were 2-1 against him. But yeah, usually he beats me pretty handily.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and then I lost to, I think I lost to those tournament, I lost to the commentator Imperfect as well.
Oh yeah, I remember that was the worst set I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was kind of trash, because the last game, I SD'd twice, I think, and on the last stock, I got a Phantom Tipper.
Yeah.
And that would have, like, won the game.
Yeah, I remember this.
But yeah, so after that, I kind of just wanted to take a break from playing the game as much.
Mhm.
So after that, obviously, I wasn't ranked high, because I think I probably played maybe a little bit of Marth in the weeklies.
Yeah.
But generally, I think I would almost only play Falco or Fox or whatever.
Peach.
Yeah, Peach. Or I think Peach was actually. Oh well, I probably played Peach, but I started maining Peach at the end of 2017, so like before Air. But yeah, I still play Peach.
Yeah.
Some here and there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. But basically, you started messing around with all of your secondaries, being Falco, Fox, Peach.
Yeah.
You just played anything, really.
yeah. And I completely stopped playing net play. I think I played a little bit, like the first half, 2019 maybe. But then, like on the summer of 2019, I don't think I played a single. Like I think because I think I uninstalled Dolphins. I couldn't even play. So I didn't even play net play for like the whole second half of 2019. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I only played tournament sets, because I would go to SU and I would play tournament, but I didn't play any friendlies or anything. I just played tournament sets.
Yeah. How do you feel that affected you and your like
I don't think it
general
affected
state
me.
of being, like taking a break?
I mean, I think that I definitely didn't have like the dips anymore of like losing and then feeling like super trash after losing. But other than that, it was like pretty much the same kind of. Which I mean makes sense, because I don't think it's melee that made me feel horrible. It made me feel like worse, but it was never like the cause of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I still felt pretty much the same, but I obviously yeah, just didn't have the super lows where I would lose and then be really mad. And then, but then in December I started playing netplay again because I was going to Valhalla 3. So I was like, okay, maybe I should at least practice a little bit. So like maybe 2 weeks before Valhalla 3 I installed netplay and like played Marth. So like I practiced for like 2 weeks, Marth 2 weeks, and then I went to Valhalla 3 and did really well for some reason.
What was really well? Do you remember?
Well, I mean, I came top 8, but there wasn't that many good players there.
Not like here. No.
Yeah, no. But I at least got top 8 because I didn't think I was gonna get anywhere really.
But do you remember who you beat at all?
I beat Parsec, Fox from
Germany?
I think it's Germany. I'm not sure actually where he's from.
That was a Clipper ass match.
Yeah, but I'm cool. Yeah, Parsec. Honestly, I don't really remember. It was Parsec and the Fox from Finland.
Mayhem.
Mayhem. Yeah, I beat Mayhem. But he beat me in winners though. But then I beat him in losers. And in that tournament I lost to Triff and Professor Pro. So it's not like bad losses, especially when I hadn't been practicing.
Yeah. Neither of which sets were very close.
Yeah. No, exactly. It was, especially the Triff one was not close at all. But versus Prof, I felt like I could take games, but I didn't. But yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then after that, I kind of went back to. I think I started playing maybe a little bit more Marth and stuff, but I still didn't play super seriously.
No.
And then I don't even know what happened 2020. I think, oh yeah, that's when Rollback came out.
Yes.
I think, yeah, during 2020 I kind of just like, I only played netplay pretty much unranked when it came out. Before that I don't remember. I probably played a little bit of netplay in the beginning of 2020. But well, it was kind of bad because my controller was really bad. Like my controller basically broken, and I played for it with like a really long time, even though it was basically like
Garbage.
half working. Yeah. So and I didn't have another controller, so during the first half of when Rollback came out, I kind of played a lot on netplay, but I never like wanted to play kind of because my controller was bad, but I just did it out of habit, kind of like earlier, I guess. But yeah, and then I fixed another controller, and it was fine. It was still not super good because the controller I had before I used for like 3 years, and it was like the best controller I ever had, really. But then when that one broke down, I haven't really found anything that's been like close to as good.
Even still?
Yeah, even still. Like this controller I use now it's pretty good, but it's still not optimal.
What is the difference between this one and the one you had before?
I think the biggest thing is just like the stick. Like I'll get like lots of maybe like accidental double jumps, or like maybe I'll miss my fast fall sometime, or like I don't know, just like small things like that. Which I mean, when I've been using this controller, I've been becoming better at using it. So obviously it's not as much flops anymore.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't feel as good as that one that I had before.
Yeah. You probably also just practiced way more at that time, so you got so much more used to that controller than you have with your current one. Because those were also in the days where you played solo practice like every day for like hours, right?
Yeah, exactly. When I started playing the game, I would like sit and practice for long periods of time to just like learn stuff. But yeah, I definitely played more than at that time with my old controller. For sure.
Do you feel like you've improved your real life I don't know, situation?
Well, yeah, kind of. I think it's been getting better slowly, like all the time, kind of. Obviously with like dips sometimes and stuff, but like generally, yeah, it's been better. Like I notice now, especially like when I'm like tryharding, I'm just like playing Marth on netplay. If I lose to someone, before I would be like, I would go to like this place of like, I have to beat this player because I hate how they play, or I hate that I can't win or something. But now it's not as much. It's like, because like when I lost to Sharp, when I first came back and I started tryharding,
When was this?
Like a few weeks ago, maybe.
Oh, so you mean like literally now?
Yeah, literally now. I wasn't sure how it was gonna be, like when I like started tryharding, and when I was gonna play against Sharp. Like if I lose, was I gonna be pissed? I didn't know. But it was super fine.
Yeah. I didn't feel like you were very sad when you lost to them at all.
Yeah.
So, springboarding off of like talking about mentality and all that, I feel like it's an important thing to talk about, that like real life shit is like a real big debuff to melee, man.
Yeah, it is.
Like feeling like shit. I feel like a lot of people use melee as like an escape, to like escape from them feeling like shit.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, man, just playing melee might let you escape, but it doesn't fix the root of your problem, and you'll just be stuck in the same position at a later time, still having to deal with whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
But you're putting all your time in a melee, so it's hard to like fix whatever the root problem is, or maybe you're not thinking about it.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. I think not playing melee for a while probably did help me to like just fix it, like focus on that problem instead of focusing on becoming better at melee. So I did try a lot of stuff. I'm still trying lots of stuff to just like see whatever works.
Yeah. Because I think in the end that like it will help you at least have more fun with the game if you're feeling better.
Yeah.
And have a healthier relationship to your hobby, which is what it is to most people, unless you're literally trying to make it your job.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Jabez.
I mean, yeah. Because otherwise it just becomes this toxic relationship with what you're doing every single day, and you just start feeling bad.
Yeah.
And I meet so many good players of this game that have had such a toxic relationship to the game.
Yeah.
Because they just push themselves. Because they are in unhappy situations, so they just keep playing, and then it just gets worse. So I wanted to get that out there, because I know maybe there are some of the newer Stockholm players playing right now who are like, oh, I want to be super good and that. Just don't let it substitute you having a nice life.
Yeah.
Because if you feel like your life is shit outside of Smash, it won't help you feel better.
Yeah. Exactly.
That was a rant.
Rants are nice. Love rants.
I have some questions left on my little pad.
Shoutout to Albin Rantala.
Shoutouts to the Rantala boys.
I didn't bring my cap.
I have it in my bag.
Fuck this like hair stuff. Oh hell yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Rantala boys.
It's very small for you. There it is.
Hell yeah.
Now I'm wearing it.
The best cap ever made.
It's my
Do you
size.
say cap? I don't even know if that's how you say it in English. Truck caps.
Actually look ridiculous when I wear it. Look like a duck or something. What are you saying? A duck?
Well, you look like a person wearing a cap. I don't think you look like
I
a
look
duck.
like a redneck. Anyway, sorry to the Rantala fanboys. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't talk shit. You've talked a bit about how you've improved your situation.
Yeah.
How do you think you can become better than you are right now?
Well, I mean, the hardest thing is just keeping a sleep schedule. Especially like now with like Summit, I watched Summit all night, or not all night necessarily, but like I went to bed later than I would, for example. But yeah, just like keeping schedules and routines is kind of just hard because I'm bad at it. But then, yeah, I'm just gonna try.
I feel like an asshole for laughing, but I talked to you about this in like 2017,
Yeah,
2016.
yeah, I know.
But we have to realize things on our own and from our own
Yeah,
shit, you know.
yeah. But also, I don't know. I'm just gonna try and be healthy, I guess, generally. Because I think the sleep was not the only thing. I've tried so many different things.
I know.
And I think if I just keep, if I just do all of the things at the same time, I think that's probably the best thing I can do. But it is hard actually keeping all those schedules and routines at the same time all the time.
Yeah. It's definitely a project trying to constantly keep yourself feeling better.
Yeah.
And it becomes easier the more you do it, but it's still hard.
Yeah.
And
especially when you slip up once, and then for example with sleep, you go to bed late one day, and then the next day, and then it snowballs.
Yeah.
And you have to really be disciplined in how you approach.
And it's so different when you don't have something to keep you hooked to it. Like, for instance, when you have a full-time job, or school, or a significant other, all of these things make you stay at the sleep schedule that you're supposed to have. Because it's a motivation, I want to be able to hang out with my girlfriend, I want to be able to go to my job or school, so I have to keep this rhythm. But when you don't have those things, you don't have the external factor, and then, at least I know that from my experience, I basically start skipping taking care of that stuff.
Yeah.
When those other things disappear from me.
Yeah, exactly. Because with a job, it becomes automatic because you can't
do anything else.
Yeah,
and you'll be too tired during the weekends because you've kept the rhythm all the time, and then to stay up much longer.
Yeah.
How can you become better than you are in Smash then? If we're talking specifically about gameplay. Gameplay.
Well, I think I'm not entirely sure. I think I'm just gonna do what I always did, which I never really work on anything specific. I think until I play someone, kind of. So for right now, I'm trying to become better at the Fox matchup because I think I'm pretty bad at the Fox matchup. So just playing Foxes in general. And then I think I need to get good at Falco again. And just a big thing still is I need to really fix my tech skill. My tech skill is fine, but when I play against a really good player, the faster the game, because they're gonna play really fast, and if then the faster they play, the harder the tech skill is. So I have to do that because I notice, especially versus when I played against Leffen, one of the biggest things was that I kind of just missed a lot of stuff, because obviously Leffen is really fast, and you have to keep up. and especially since I haven't really played seriously in that long,
Yeah.
I'm not used to like playing that fast. Kind of.
You said before that you were tryharding a bit. Are you actually going to try to come back to the game, or are you just like feeling the waters right now?
Still probably feeling the waters, but I think I'm gonna like obviously play lots of Marth. I think I'm gonna try and play Marth almost every tournament, except for like the last one when my hands were too cold, and I kind of just like didn't want to play because my hands were really cold.
Thank you for that, by the way. Another win for the Rio fans.
Hell yeah. Yeah, but so what was I saying?
You're gonna try to play more Marth.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna try and play more Marth, and like kind of try hard. Maybe not as much as I used to, where I would play like all day and like play all day, just like super practice. But I'm gonna play quite a lot, I guess, and then try and enter tournaments and everything.
Yeah. We only play unranked on this little podcast. It's mostly like background noise, so we're not gonna play you. Sorry, man.
He got rejected like this.
Yeah.
Luigi.
Like this Luigi. Rejection master. Oof! Oof. Luigi, if it weren't for him having such an annoying weight to combo, would be one of the most satisfying characters to combo, because he just sounds like so funny. Oof! Whenever you hit him.
Yeah.
I'd love to combo Luigi if it wasn't for it being Luigi. Like, what if you put Luigi sound effects on Falcon? Oh!
That would have been insane, actually.
It was so funny.
Okay, he just did that in neutral. Yeah.
Actually, Falcon does have a really good death sound.
He does,
though.
yeah. It might be the best death sound in the game. But,
Yeah.
Generally, Luigi has the best.
Yeah.
The best stuff.
We should talk about your best Smash memories overall. Do you have any really good Smash or Smash related memories?
Well, recently, one of the best memories was, it's not super like actually Smash related, or it is Smash related, but it wasn't a tournament or anything. It was when we visited Alpson. That entire just like weekend or like week or however long we were
We
there.
just traveled in Norway and got these caps.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that was definitely a highlight, I think. Just like meeting people, and it wasn't for Smash, it was, we met through Smash, but we didn't meet to play Smash.
Yeah.
That was a great experience, the whole thing. And generally just like all of the good memories I have are usually not game related, it's just like community related. So like there, like obviously like not Festa, Newt. Both of the ones I went to were super great, super fun.
Where you tried weed.
I did.
Shout out to the police.
Shout out to the police and Stux and Max.
I don't know why I felt like I had to bring that up. I just remember you and another player, Humst has been a guest on the podcast, trying weed, and I don't know. It was funny because neither of you seemed changed in any way.
Yeah, no, I never noticed anything.
I remember.
Oh my fucking
you
god!
almost did something crazy with that.
I missed my other fair, I think.
Yeah. If you did
That
another
would've been
reverse fair into downer.
Yeah.
That's what you were thinking,
yeah.
yeah. That would have been insane, actually. I was gonna say,
Weed.
yes, there's a funny story of another player who's been guest on the podcast, and I don't want to leak it because I don't know if the player wants me to. But ask me in real life and I'll tell it.
Yeah.
Why did I do that? That's so stupid. I fucked up my... whatever.
Yeah, there's not many players, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, okay, who cares about that? Okay, so
we can talk about crack instead.
Yeah, crack cocaine. What are your experiences?
Yeah, that Ludde.
Ludde is your crack.
Yeah, he's crack.
He is like cocaine.
Crack, yeah, man, crack.
Yeah, man. We talked about favorite Smash memories and shit like that, and mostly community related.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you will... Because, I mean, you're the type of player who would come to a tournament and not enter also.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Because it's just like, I mean, hanging out with friends and everything.
Yeah. How do you feel like the Smash as a community has affected you or your life?
Well, I think, I mean, I didn't grow up with the Smash community, but I mean, I was 16 when I entered. So like a lot of growing up, going from, you know, like a teenager into like an actual like adult was through Smash. And I think it definitely helped me a lot. I think one of the things that it actually helped me the most in, which is not like community related, but just like, I think generally my confidence in like everything has just like been a lot higher, which is I think a byproduct of me like actually becoming good at the game and feeling like I can actually...
If you put effort into something.
Yeah, pretty much. So I think my confidence is definitely much higher in like all areas of life, pretty much.
Yeah.
But then I mean, I've basically just like matured in the Smash scene, which is hype. So it's definitely had a lot of impacts on me.
Yeah. You are historically a person who has a lot of strong opinions about players, about play styles.
Yeah.
What do you think about the current landscape of European Marths?
Well, let's not go into that.
Okay, never mind.
Well, it's like funny because I talked to media about this and he kind of agreed with me. And like Fox players generally they're like yeah, you're sick, dude, and they're like, oh, this Fox, he's so good, and yeah, I love this Fox, now we're all sick. Fox or Marth players were more like, yeah,
really toxic toward each other.
Yeah, pretty much, or like we all hate each other how we play.
Yeah.
But well, maybe not all, but at least me and Meaty.
Does Meaty hate how you play?
I don't know. But I mean, we talked a little about it, and he's like, yeah, Marth players generally just like don't like how other Marth players play.
Because I feel like Red Blaze May did not dislike how you played.
Yeah.
You just disliked how May played.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think I kind of dislike how every Marth played.
You're just a perfectionist. And I think no matter what character you would have played, that would have been the case.
Yeah, because I think it's because it's Marth that I'm like, I see them do like something wrong, and I'm like, stop doing that. That's wrong. And then, like with other characters, I mean, wouldn't maybe care as much.
But you do that literally when you see a Falco play, and you're like, that's the wrong follow-up. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, but it's not as much.
No.
It's not as like serious, I guess. It's just like, I don't know.
I think an interesting part about that is like because you are not the type of player who like analyzes VODs by watching, as we covered before, like by like rewatching replays and going frame by frame and shit like that. One would assume that you're less of like a nerdy type player because you mostly learn through playing or solo practicing.
Yeah.
But there's some lore there. Or not lore maybe, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you actually study the game a lot more than people think.
Yeah. I think I don't analyze the game as much. Like looking at vaults and everything. But I definitely think about the game all the time, and I use like I need data like all the time, just like to check like stuff like, oh, when does this work and when should I like use like downer, like when can I use downer as a tech chase, when can I answer tech it, and like stuff like that. But yeah, like analyzing and stuff, not as much, and I don't really go into frame data too much. I think like sometimes, but not as like super much. I think I'm very much in the middle of like I'm not nerdy at all, but I'm still not super nerdy, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm very much in the middle of it.
But I think the cool part is like there's this dichotomy, I feel like, where people, or there's a view that you're either like a flowcharty player or you're like an intuitive type player.
Yeah.
But I feel like you hit the middle of those two, where
Yeah.
you're very intuitively flowcharty.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the best way to play, I think. And I think Mango is probably like that as well. Because I think, like, obviously every player has flow. Like, you can't play the game without flowcharts. And I think if you only play on intuition, which I think some people do, I think you will just never get good, really.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Sadly.
And because I think you have to have flowcharts, because you can't always keep thinking about everything. You have to
let something happen, like end up on your autopilot.
Yeah.
To be able to process the important things. Or
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And there's also just facts of the game. Like, at a certain point, this should be the punish.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a lot of flowcharty things that, like the Sheik edge card, for example, is like, if you don't know the flowchart, you're gonna have a hard time against Sheik, because you will just get destroyed. Because if you let Sheik come back every time, then you're not gonna win, basically. But yeah, some characters are better at playing non-flowcharty though. I think if you play Marth, you have to play somewhat flowcharty. Because Marth is just like that type of character.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't think I have many more questions to talk about.
Yeah.
I have one more and then I'll send it to chat for chat questions.
Yeah.
Which is, you mentioned what you could improve in Smash and what you could improve in real life. What do you think your this next year, 2022 that's coming up, what do you think is going to happen in 2022 for you?
Like, just both, like, real life
Just,
and...
yes. As a person.
Well, for real life, I think, I'm studying right now, but I'm gonna be done with studies in like June. No, not June. What's it called? January.
Yeah.
And after that, I'm probably just gonna try and like get a job or something. And I don't think I have too much plan for real life, I guess. But it would be nice to just have a job so I can actually travel to like tournaments and stuff. Cause
right now you don't have the funds.
Yeah, it's hard to go to tournaments if you have no money.
Yeah.
And then, like for Smash, I don't have. Again, I don't have any super. I'm just gonna play the game and like see what happens. If I can go to a tournament, I'm gonna go to a tournament. That was kind of nasty.
Yeah, that was kind of nasty.
That was nasty.
Somebody clipped that.
Any clippers?
Any clippers in the chat?
Yeah, but I think that's very typical of me also, just like not really planning ahead super much, kind of just doing what happens.
Yeah. But usually, at least now you have some sort of direction.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if you don't know the minute details, you have like things you want to do and things you want to avoid.
Yeah.
Sounds good, man. Does the chat have any questions? I've seen a bunch throughout. I'll scroll up and take some that have been previously. I don't know if there are any here. What are your biggest strengths as a Super Smash Brothers player? From Ludrix.
Well, as I said before, the biggest thing is punish game. I think just like understanding how punish game works in this game, and like knowing how like because I flowchart everything myself. I don't really look at other players to get my like ideas, I guess. So like maybe I'll get like an idea, but then I fix like the flowchart myself. I think I'm pretty good at doing that. So. I've heard from dating and some players that they say that a strength of mine is that I'm good at adapting, but I don't really know that myself. And maybe I am, but I don't like consciously think about it as that way I guess. But yeah, that's probably my biggest strength generally.
Yeah. I think so too. Maybe the adaptation is something that just happens intuitively rather than like...
Yeah.
Because you probably notify things that happen in the game, but you don't like actively try to like enforce that in your mind.
Yeah,
I'm guessing
exactly.
you just sort of notice, oh, I keep getting hit by this.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is how it should be, because then your autopilot will fix itself.
Yeah.
Your body should know the response. As long as you practice correctly, your body should know the response to the feeling or the thought of, I'm getting hit by this.
Yeah. Exactly.
How's your sex life?
It's fucking going well, my guy.
Guy.
Hell yeah, every single day.
Okay. I guess I'm ending the stream now because we talked about your sex life in depth, and that's about as good as it gets. Thank you for coming on fucking episode 10.
Oh, is it episode 10?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I kept it for an important number because I don't know, I'm weird like that. And thanks all the viewers for coming. I had a peak of 14 viewers. I think that's the second most I've had after the Pipsqueak one, which had a lot.
Oh yeah.
I got some followers. Thank you. Vaporion was good. Thank you to Kinso. Thank you to Deadly Kitten 16, Lux and Muren. Shoutouts to all of you guys. Deadly Kitten 16, also known as Yell, my student. Thanks for paying me every month. Also. And yeah, make sure if you see this and you're like, oh shit, I'm not followed, but I like the content, check out the Twitch, follow me. I also have a YouTube channel that I'm going to be posting this VOD on, and there'll be timestamps and stuff, so if you missed part of it, you can check that out. But yeah, thanks for coming on. I'll see you guys next time.
Hell yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
We realized in the fucking YouTube or in the Twitch stream that we forgot to do the set.
We're from the future.
We're from the future, 10 minutes in the future.
Yes.
Where we have peed and drank water. And now we're ready to play the set offline and edit it into the podcast. Bonus footage.
Du kan börja strika eller you can start striking because I'm port 4.
Thank you for the manners.
You're welcome.
I ban that one, and this one is already banned.
This one? Oh, yeah.
That one, the Pokemon Stadium and FD are banned, of course.
Fountain of Dreams and Dreamland.
We're going Yashua story.
Poggers.
Good luck.
Good luck. Goodbye. Oh no.
Goodbye. Oh my god. Oops. Ay caramba combo. Wow. Okej. Gippy cat.
Gippy cat.
Det var fan inte en Gippy cat, men det var en Gippy cat.
Det var en Gippy cat.
Yes!
We'll go to another one. Or we go to this stage for all the international viewers.
Yes. Oops. Ouch.
Oh, fan. Oh, wow.
GG's.
GG's.
Thank you for coming to the podcast, episode
Thank you for
10.
having me.